Hey you guys, welcome to the Blending with Henry show. My name is Henry. I'm so excited to show you guys this breakthrough product from Vitamix. You can create even more recipes and be a master at them with just one machine. So, let's get started. Today we're reviewing the all-new Vitamix 12-cup food processor attachment. We're making 3 healthy and delicious recipes with over 30 minutes of amazing content. This is the box that it comes packaged in. And you know what, you guys? Picture boxes with features and recipes are like theater. Now, I never throw my picture boxes away. And the black theme represents the Vitamix Ascent lifestyle image. Inside the box, you get the 12-cup food processor attachment, 2 sets of double-sided processing disc, a multi-use processing blade, a recipe book, a welcome pamphlet, and the instruction manual, which I recommend you guys skim through so you can get familiar and get the best out of your food processor attachment. This is how it looks sitting on the Vitamix motor base. Now you guys, the food processor attachment is only compatible with the Vitamix Ascent and the Venturous line of machines. This is due to the safety function built into the self-detect base that requires the wireless feature. If you have a Vitamix Classic or the Legacy such as the Pro 750, it is not compatible. I'm excited about this accessory for one main reason, you guys. In my opinion, it completes the puzzle for making Vitamix the most versatile chef's tool on the market. With the many accessory containers available, in particular for the Ascent line, Vitamix now has a true complete kitchen. Each container is designed for a specific purpose, although they can do more, such as the 20-ounce blending cup. Now, it's best used for single-serve smoothies. The 8-ounce blending bowl is for chopping, creating sauces, and milling spices. The air disc container for whips, foams, and non-blended drinks. The new stainless steel 48-ounce multi-purpose container. And the dry grains container for making flour, dry chopping, and making ground coffee. And now the food processor attachment for tasks that the other containers are not best used for. Now with the Vitamix Complete Kitchen, you guys, I'm able to easily make protein shakes, fresh salsas, dips, coffee foams like the Dalgona coffee that I made earlier, and my cold brew coffee fog. Now plant-based milks, fresh fruit smoothies, smoothie bowls, whole fruit veggie juice, nut butters, and frozen desserts. And now also my favorite gourmet soups like this butternut squash, the Tex-Mex white bean soup, and my favorite gazpacho. And of course, I'm not going to forget the cocktails, such as my blue raspberry vodka lemonade. Just like the containers, the food processor attachment works in multiple positions, so I'm going to show you right now. It also works in this position. Also in this position. And this position. So, if you're right-handed, a lefty, or ambidextrous, you can comfortably use the food processor attachment, just the same as you would use your Vitamix containers. It may not matter to everyone, but for me, the build quality of a product says a lot about the company who creates it. So I'm going to show you a few things. Now, I've talked about this in the past, you guys, and I'm so glad Vitamix is moving in this direction. The printed measurement markings. Thank you, Vitamix. It just makes things easier when creating recipes. The total construction of the lid itself is stellar. And the handle grip is very strong with absolutely no creaky plastics that tend to crack or break over time. Now, I went to some houseware stores to check out comparative other brands. I first checked out the Cuisinart 8-cup food processor for $99 and the 7-cup KitchenAid food processor for $129. See how creaky the plastic is on the handle grips. Next, I checked out a more upscale Cuisinart 11 cup food processor for $199. Lastly, I checked out the Breville Sous Chef 16 cup food processor, and it's priced from $3.99 to $4.99 depending on the accessory kit packaged with it. Now right away you guys, I noticed the amazing build quality of the motor base and very strong plastic construction of the work bowl and handle grip. No creaky plastics. On my journey, I checked out at least 10 food processors in these price ranges, and in order to get anything with great build quality from top to bottom, it's going to set you back about $400. And remember, these are dedicated food processors only. Alright, let's check out the build quality of the work bowl. Very strong plastics and nothing creaking. Now it may not look like it, you guys, but I'm applying a lot of pressure on the bowl as I squeeze it. Even the food pusher has very strong construction. Now I'm going to remove the lid cover. And the work bowl, while very lightweight, is very strong in construction. Just how strong the lid snaps in place says a lot about the great build quality. One of the functions of the self-detect feature is to prevent operation of the Vitamix, you guys, when no container is properly in place. Now you can see this from the circle icon with a slash through it. Now notice as I place the food processor attachment on the Vitamix, the circle with the line through it disappears. That means it's safe to use. Now upon removing it again, the circle with the slash reappears. Now I'm going to remove the food pusher. The circle with the slash appears. That means it's not safe for use and disables the Vitamix. Now this silver rod on the pusher connects with the self-detect base in order to activate the Vitamix for use. Now watch as I insert the food pusher. The circle with the slash disappears. Now I can operate the Vitamix. Now I'm going to do a test for you guys, but don't try this at home. Now I've removed the food pusher so the Vitamix is inoperable. Now I'm inserting my hand down the food chute just to show you how safe it is. Don't do this, okay? Now I'm putting the food pusher back and the Vitamix is now operable again. Since we're on the subject of safety, this is the included storage case for the blade disc. And you guys, they are very sharp. Now in the instructions, Vitamix recommends handling them by either of the two holes as you see here. The multi-use blade is very common with food processors, but I'm really impressed by the build quality, from the glass-filled nylon housing to the micro-serrated blades. Now this blade is labeled as number 1. Each blade is double-sided, starting with the number 2 thin slice. On the flip side, the number 3 small shred. And on the second disc is the number 4 thick slice, and on the flip side is the number 5 large shred. Nearly every part of the food processor attachment is dishwasher safe, so let me show you. Now I'm going to disassemble it first and we'll go over it piece by piece, including the blades. The work bowl is the most obvious because it has clean lines and no crevices. The lid cover with food pushers is dishwasher safe as well. Now the multi-use blade is 100% dishwasher safe. Now you guys, I still recommend hand washing the parts. I'm kind of old school. I don't want to rely on a machine for every task. As is the multi-use blade, the blade discs are also dishwasher safe. Now if you're going to hand wash, I would recommend using a scrub brush just for safety reasons. About the self-detect base, it is absolutely not dishwasher safe. Use a dampened microfiber cleaning cloth and just give it a good wipe down. Now you guys, this is the one part I don't even recommend hand washing. Just wipe it down and you're good to go. And in case you were wondering, the Vitamix base itself is not dishwasher safe either, okay? Now I'm just passing the message, you guys. Some people may try anything, all right? If you're constrained on storage space, you can nest the food processor attachment and its accessories together. Let me show you. The food chute generally gets in the way due to its height. I'm going to show you an easy way. I'm just going to remove the lid and simply flip it upside down and place it over the multi-use blade. Here's another option for you. Using the blade disc protective housing, flip it over. Then place the snap-on lid on top. Now it snaps right in place. Now with the food processor attachment, simply nest the food chute over the multi-use blade. Now you guys, this may not be the most elegant solution, but it's a great way to keep everything together, especially if you have limited space. Alright you guys, it's time to create some healthy and delicious meals. Now I took advantage of the Vitamix Complete Kitchen experience and utilized the food processor attachment and other Vitamix containers to create this artisan bread with a bowl of crispy slaw with sliced cucumbers and my very own Henry mustard vinaigrette. Okay, I'm using the Vitamix Ascent A3500 and the food processor attachment. I'm starting with a thick slice processing blade. Snapping my lid in place. And I'm starting with a medium-sized chunk of cabbage. I'm just going to give it a few pulses. I'm starting with smaller chunks, you guys, so I can achieve an equal balance of different types of ingredients. Okay, I'm going to get this last piece. And now I'm going to try some purple cabbage. Now I've flipped the blade to large shred and I'm putting in a carrot. Okay, you guys, I'm done. Now let's pour it up. Besides the healthy part, what I love the most about slaw is the amazing colors of the ingredients that give it such a fresh look. Now I'll give it a quick stir to blend those amazing colors together. Alright you guys, it's looking good, but we're not done yet. Let's add some sliced cucumber. So I'm starting with a peeled cucumber first, and I'm using the thick sliced blade disc. Now for color, I'm using an unpeeled cucumber. I like how you can just remove it from the self-detect base for serving it right on the table or for easy pouring. You guys, ever since I started creating my own salad dressings, I've stopped buying them in the grocery stores. Now this way I know what I put in it. Now I'm using the 48-ounce wet blade container to create my mustard vinaigrette. So the first ingredient are rough chopped cucumbers for a fresh taste. Snapping my lid in place. And now I'm just going to give it a few pulses to break down the cucumbers. This way it prevents splashing with the other liquid ingredients. On speed 2, then pulse. Now I'm going to scrape down the walls of the container so the cucumbers are well incorporated with the other ingredients. Next ingredient is red wine vinegar. Fresh garlic. Whole grain Dijon mustard. The Blended Up Southwest Spice Blend. Now you guys know I love Blended Up's products. Now this adds a nice kick and the perfect flavor. It's vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, and has no MSG. Next is garlic powder. Red pepper flakes for heat. Dry thyme leaves. Pure maple syrup for added sweetness. Lemon juice. And coarse kosher salt. Snapping my lid in place. And now I'm going to slowly ramp up the speed as I add the olive oil. Removing the lid plug, I'm going to slowly add in 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil for proper emulsification. After pouring the olive oil, you want to begin increasing the speed to around 8 and blend until smooth. Alright you guys, it's all done. Let's pour it up. I want you guys to try my mustard vinaigrette. It tastes so fresh, and like me, you'll perhaps stop buying salad dressing in the grocery stores because this is just way too easy. There's just something magical about creating your own recipes from scratch, especially when it's an easy recipe and your friends and family compliment on how good it is. The grand finale. But you'll have to wait a couple more minutes, you guys. The main ingredient needs to be created first. I'm always creating my own flour in the Vitamix dry grains container, especially when I'm making cookies or pancake batter. Now these are wheat berries, and I'll be creating wheat flour for our Artisan bread. To create the wheat flour, I'll be using the 48-ounce dry grains container, also known as the dry blade container or dry container. Okay? They're all one and the same, okay? I'm pouring 1 cup of the wheat berries in. Snapping my lid in place, I'm going to ramp up to the highest speed. It'll take about 1 minute to mill the wheat berries into flour. You guys, sometimes I still can't believe the power of the Vitamix in the dry container. How powdery the flour it creates in 1 minute constantly amazes me. Now it really speeds up cooking tasks, especially for last minute needs. When I introduced the Vitamix 780, I created dough in the 32-ounce dry container. It was a tedious task. Now the bread turned out great. Well, of course it did. I made it. Okay. All right. But honestly, it's far easier when you have a stand mixer, or in this case, a food processor. So to create the dough, I'm starting off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Next, I'm pouring in the wheat flour that we made earlier. Now I'm mixing flours to create a nice earthy texture without being too heavy on the wheat flavor. Next is rapid rise instant yeast. Salt for added flavor. Let me get that last bit out of there. Now I'm adding the blended up Italian spice blend. Now you can use this for soups, but in this case I'm creating an Italian style artisan bread, so it's most appropriate. So I'm just going to pour it right in. Snapping my lid in place. And I'm just going to pulse a few times just to mix the dry ingredients first. Now the only wet ingredient I'm adding is hot water. Now since this is a fast rising dough, hot water is necessary, but still keeping the proper temperature to protect the yeast. Now I'm going to pulse it a few times to create the dough. And that's it, you guys. It's all done. This is a very simple dough to create. This is a sticky dough, and it's normal for it to be. Now, it doesn't require kneading. It just needs to rest, rise, and do its thing. Now, if you're a beginner making artisan bread, this is a great starter dough. Now I'm going to cover it up with plastic wrap. Now, this helps maintain the moisture while it rises. Allow it to sit for 3 hours at room temperature. Now if it sits at 4 hours or 5 hours, it's fine, you guys, as long as it's a minimum of 3 hours. Alright, through the magic of television, it has risen, you guys. Check this out. Now it's not even baked yet, but the blended up Italian spices smell amazing. I'm going to dust my work surface with some flour to prevent the dough from sticking. Now I'm going to lay the dough out for the next phase, and you can see that it has greatly increased in size. What I'm doing now is lightly stretching the dough out, and I'm going to begin to fold it into the shape of a ball. Oh, give me a second, you guys. Let me get my dough scraper. Now this is to help keep it from sticking and to form the dough easier. Again, I'm just going to fold in the corners and give it a final lift with the dough scraper. Now I'm going to lay out this seed medley consisting of poppy seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and sesame seeds. Now you carefully pick up the dough and lightly smash the dough into the seeds. And you want to make sure the seam side is facing upwards. Alright, I have my proofing basket. Now you want to carefully lay the dough into the proofing basket with the seed medley side facing downward. Now the dough will take about an hour to proof in the basket, so you want to cover it with a kitchen towel to protect the moisture. Now during this time, you guys, you want to preheat your oven to 450 degrees. I'm going to bake the bread on a pizza stone, you guys, which is preheated in the oven for the entire hour. Now I'm laying the dough on the pizza stone with the seed medley side facing upwards. And man, this pizza stone is very hot, okay? I'm doing all this for you guys, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead now and brush off the excess flour, but not too much. That's what gives it that artisan look. Now lastly, I'm scoring the dough. Now there's no rule on how it should look, so create your own designs. Now you don't have to score it too deeply, just about a ½ inch. Alright, we're all done. Now just place it in the oven and bake it for 35 minutes. Now after that time, you guys, for a crispier shell, lower your oven temperature to 300 degrees and bake for another 10 minutes. Alright, you guys, look at this. Amazing, simply amazing. The delicious aroma of Italian spices. Now it's very crispy, but it's too hot to cut into right now. It needs to rest about 30 minutes. It's an absolute masterpiece and overall easy to create. Now how bad can this be? Fresh baked Italian style artisan bread. Okay, you guys, our meal is complete. So over here we have a healthy crispy slaw with sliced cucumber, and in the rear resides my Henry mustard vinaigrette. And over here we have our Italian style artisan bread, and it has a nice crunch when cutting into it. Now there's extra virgin olive oil for dipping, along with coarse kosher salt. In my opinion, you guys, this is a perfect summer meal for during the day when you need that me time, or you can just take it right to work for lunch. And of course, it'll be on your dinner table to accompany whichever main dish you'd be serving it with. To create a great meal doesn't always mean you have to be a great cook. But when you have the proper kitchen tools, you just may really surprise yourself. So you guys, I've given you some ideas on what you can do with the Vitamix Food Processor Attachment, but I'm sure you want to hear my thoughts on what's awesome and what's not so awesome about the Vitamix Food Processor Attachment. So let's take a look. So what's awesome? Superb build quality, self-detect protection, wireless technology to prevent the Vitamix from running unless all the safety attachments are snapped in place. One machine on the counter. Now you don't have to store a dedicated food processor in the cabinet, you guys. Just use the attachment or switch out containers, as most people keep their Vitamix on the counter. Small learning curve. Dishwasher safe. Now the $199.95 price point. Now this is a big plus, you guys. After checking out multiple food processors in the same price category, the build quality just didn't stack up to the Vitamix Food Processor Attachment's construction. So what's not so awesome? Limited accessory discs. Now what I'd like to see Vitamix offer in the future as an optional accessory is a dicing disc. How about a French fry cutter? Or a spiralizer disc? And also an adjustable size slicing disc would be great as well. And lastly, made in China. Now I'm mentioning this, you guys, because Vitamix products are generally made in the USA with the majority of USA made parts. But not everything made in China is unsuitable. The food processor attachment is all of the great quality that you'd come to expect from Vitamix, so I'm just putting it out there in case it matters. With the food processor attachment, it finally completes the puzzle, and now Vitamix offers a complete kitchen for the chef, aspiring chef, the home cook, or for the rest of us who just want life in the kitchen to be a lot easier. Alright, you guys, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the review presentation. And if you want to order the Vitamix Food Processor Attachment, other Vitamix products, or the recipe for my Henry Mustard Vinaigrette, use the links below the video or on blendingwithhenry.com. See you soon.